Hi there, it's Melinda with you today and welcome to my channel. Today I am sharing a just because layout. I'm scrapbooking this photograph of my youngest child from nearly 12 months ago. We refer to it around here as the day he broke my heart. He did have long hair, and as you can see, took a pair of scissors to it. I was away on scrapbooking retreat, and this is the photograph I received from my husband. It's taken me this long to get over the trauma that it caused me, and I have to scrap this story because it was a big step for me in recognizing his independence, but also because I still can't quite believe that he did that. So I'm going to be using the U-Rock collection, some mixed media. I've got some not happy kind of stamps that I'm going to be using. I'm going to pop you on fast forward and hope you enjoy.
And it's called, I think it's called Real Life Sayings or Real Life or something like that, but it's really cool. There's lots of quite ordinary phrases on here which I really love. So I'm using my black archival ink and I'm just stamping. Basically I decided that the bottom right, top left, I was going to start with the areas of that paper and build from there. So this first stamp obviously says seriously with a question mark, and I'm just randomly stamping and then stamping that same stamp off onto the background. I was going to do a coat of clear gesso, but I've noticed that for some reason this black dries more grey than black after I use the clear gesso, so I decided that I was going to seal this with my clear gesso afterwards. This one says what with a question mark. This one says nope. Nope. Just nope. Which were, all of these things were things that definitely ran through my head when I got the text message from my husband with this photo. And again, I'm just stamping all these words. This one is hashtag real life because it is real life, and really this bummer just needs to suck it up. So I know that the photo is going to go in the bottom right hand corner, and I chose that corner because the paper has got more weight in that area with the patterns on there. So here I am with my clear gesso. I'm just going to apply a coat over the whole background because I'm not really sure exactly where I'm going to go. I had pulled out my swatch book of Colour Blast products just to match what colour I wanted to use, and I'm using, this is Singin' the Blues Colour Shimmer Cube. And these are just, they come dry and you activate them by adding a little bit of water, and you've got little watercolor cube pots things. They're awesome. One of my favorite products. Obviously the more water you add, the more watercolory look you get, less vibrant color. I started with the packaging technique, and then I just decided that I was going to go in with my paintbrush and just mush the color around. Dried that off quickly with my heat tool, and I decided I want a little bit of darker blue. So this is the Just Blue. This color, I just love it. It is just beautiful. Again, I'm going in with the packaging technique, just activating the color in the pot, using my paintbrush to transfer the color onto the packaging. I really love the extra depth that this color gives to my watercolor background. As you can see, my page is quite warped from the gesso and then the watercolor, and you can see this is how I'm straightening it out. Just roll it up. Obviously it was all dry at this point. Just activating that a bit more because I want some of those darker blue splatters, which I'm going to do in the two areas. You can see pretty clearly now. I'm going to work in the bottom right and the top left hand corners. Just adding some splatters. This is my favorite brush to use. I think it's around number 20. I don't know. I just love it. Giving you a close up, you can see all that shimmer in those products. And I really love how the paper and the watercolors have just kind of blended together really nicely. I'm going to add a couple of messy-ish layers behind my photo. I love the colour of that darker blue there. It is just stunning. So I start by adding a few layers on the left-hand side, and then I kind of went, the photo's going on the right-hand side of the page, and the focal point, which is my son, his face, is also on the right-hand side. So I do move the horizontal layers over to the right. So you can see I'm building on the left there. Some of these strips weren't quite long enough, but I thought rather than cutting extra papers, I would just use my offcuts. I think I've gone to find my glue. Yeah, my HAG. Taping that all down. I love this collection. It's just gorgeous. Love, love, love it. Zoe, you've smashed it out of the park. I'm sure you know that already. I'm just adding those layers. Trying to decide if I want another layer behind all of those. I think I've gone to check the other papers that I've got. I think I end up deciding not to add a layer behind. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Get all those paper layers out of the way. I decided I wanted a little bit more texture in the background, so this is my deep water colour paste and a Flutterby Designs stencil. Hunter, who's in this photo, when he saw this page, he started pointing out all the different round shapes, saying this one's a basketball and this one's a this ball and that one's a this ball. It was quite funny. So I'm just adding that again around where my photo is going to be and up where in my title. I know that the title is going to go up in the left hand corner. Now I left this bit in because I wanted to show you how easy it is to clean up. I got some little spots of the colour paste on my background where I didn't want it, but because I've used a gesso, it just wiped straight off before it was dry. So a little tip if you didn't know that. I'm using these Amy Tan thickers. Sorry, I just went completely blank. And this is probably the closest that I will get to swearing on a page. But that was pretty much my thought process when I got this photo. And I thought that it was quite appropriate because it was honestly my thought process. So I've pulled out the veneer. There was one particular piece that I was hoping to use, but I've already used it. So I pull out that camera and I pull out the little plus signs that are in here. You can see I'm just building a cluster up where my title is, and then so there's two little clusters, one on the top right and one on the bottom right of the photo, one to the left of the photo. And my journaling is actually going to end up filling the left hand side of the page. Using some of these phrase stickers from the 6x12 sticker sheet. I think, what do they say? Heartbreaker, unbelievable, up to no good. So I'm going to add some foam behind my photo, scribble down the date. I'm going to add a layer of foam behind the camera so that it sits exactly where I want it. And then that phrase sticker at the top says troublemaker, because that pretty much sums him up. I'm using my tacky glue to attach everything because of all that mixed media in the background. It doesn't want to stick. And I decided to do something a bit different for me and just put a messy layer of thread, just plain black thread. Just going to stick that down on top. Muck around with the thread a little bit. This is almost at the end now. Just sticking all the bits down. Yeah, I'm just sticking all the bits down. You'll see me start to draw in some lines for journaling, and then I realise that very faintly in the background there are lines. There's a grid pattern in the back of this paper. So I do fill the left-hand side with my journaling. After I stick everything down, I stamp 2 dates at the bottom of my journaling. One is the date of the photograph and one is the date that I did my journaling. You can see here I've added a chevron from Charms Creations, which I do end up removing because I just don't like it. I don't like it there. There you go, pull it off. My date stamps, and I'll leave you with a few close-ups. So as always, thank you ever so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate all my likes and comments, and I do try to get back to everyone as much as I can. I hope you like this process. I hope you like my page. Thank you ever so much for stopping by, and I shall see you again in the next layout. Thanks for watching. Bye.